Welcome back to Hope for the Caregiver. This is Peter Rosenberger, and this is the program for you as a family caregiver. Healthy caregivers make better caregivers, and this program is all about helping us to stay strong and healthy as we take care of someone who is not. Hopeforthecaregiver.com. Hopeforthecaregiver.com. You know, I used to be pretty heavy. When they put ropes on you at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you know you're pretty big, and that's something I had to work on, because I came to this conclusion that I was no good to Gracie if I was fat, broken, miserable. And so I took it upon myself, with the encouragement of a very good friend of mine, to say, you know what, Peter, we got to get this weight off of you. It's not good for you, and we did. And then Gracie went in the hospital for 5 months, and the breakfast buffet at the hotel where I was staying right across the street from her called my name. I mean, it was like, you remember in the Odyssey, I think there was Ulysses he told his men to tie him to the mast of the ship when they went by the sirens, so he would not divert and go and put the whole ship at peril, because he was under the siren spell, and he had to tie him to the mast. That's what I had to do at the hotel buffet. They had to tie me to the mast because it was calling me. And I put on a little bit of weight while I was with Gracie at the hospital for 5 months. You don't eat very well in the hospital, but I tried to watch it. I got back and I dropped all that I'd put on, and I'm working on dropping even more, thanks to my friend Dale, who's helping me. And Dale's doing a welfare check on me right now to make sure that I am not in any way diverging from this, but I'm hoping I'm going to get down another 20 by the time spring rolls around. I don't know that I need to lose another 20, but I think I'd like to go a little bit overboard and then kind of back it off a little bit, just to kind of retrain my brain on what to do with food. And that's the problem we have at the holiday season, is this food is everywhere, chocolates everywhere, sweets are everywhere. So Dale, welcome back to the program. You've been on here several times before. Thank you for the work you've done in my life, and you've done so much for so many others. The holidays are a tough time to watch what you eat, aren't they?
They are, and there's a lot of stress, good stress and bad stress. There's stress of being back sometimes in a family situation that might be really happy, and then sometimes uncomfortable. And there can be changes in the family and dynamics and things that cause us to have emotional stress. And I think the question for you to ask yourself is, where do you go for comfort? Some people go to a bottle, alcohol. Some people, take drugs to soothe yourself. But to go for the emotional eating part, for comfort, that's where we have to stop and ask ourselves, when we're running to that pie in the middle of the day, where it's not like a designated time that because at holidays, you just think you can eat anytime.
Well, they say the calories don't count when you're eating over the kitchen sink and crying.
Right.
Is that true? Is that a true saying?
And on Sundays at potlucks, but
with you're eating over the sink and crying.
Oh God!
No. That's and you're right. It's there, and there's too many desserts and sweets and tidings of comfort and joy. That's not the comfort the hymn is talking about, is it?
Well, let me give you a different perspective. When I'm doing as a coach, I'm trying to get weight off of someone. They're going through the program with me. It's very structured. And we have sweets, we have savory, we have things that will satisfy those sweet tooths and savory. And we teach you how to eat. We teach you about how much protein is good for a meal, how much fat goes with that. We teach, and we give you the tools about vegetables and carbs and different things. But it's so easy because you don't even have to think about it, really. It's so structured, and we just give you the whole plan. But what happens is, when you go to an event where you're going to see your grandmother's or your mother's or your whatever's favorite, recipe, casserole, pie or cake or whatever it is, you can go and have a plan, and you can be very intentional and say, you know what? The first plate of food I get is going to satiate my hunger, and support my energy, digestion, mood, all that, goals. And that's like, go for the meat, go for the meat, go for the protein, and then the vegetables, and then treat yourself if you're going to partake. Now, some people, you got to think about this. Some people, if they start something, they can't stop. And that's somewhere where you have to deal with God about, if I'm an alcoholic and I start drinking just because it's a day to celebrate, am I going to indulge in something that is not going to be beneficial for me because it might trigger something and start me back on a track? But for the most part, you can say to yourself, I can have the 3-bite rule, and take a piece of cheesecake. Don't feel guilty, just be intentional. And that's what I'm getting at, is you need to set yourself up for success. You're not going to eat like you do on Christmas and New Year's and all the different holidays. You're not going to, those are just specific times. But the rest of the days that you're living during December, January, November, you're being more intentional. And on those days that you are having Thanksgiving, you get to decide, but don't shame yourself by not being able to eat something. Just decide, I'm going to have 3 bites of that, or I'm going to have 1 bite of that, or whatever it is. But just having a plan, being intentional, having someone to be accountable to. I think that's been the greatest thing with you, Peter. You have been, I have to, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show. You have been a very, very intentional and very deliberate and decisive and consistent client. I asked you to call me once a week or send me your scale and let me know where you are. No matter what the scale says, we're going to work with it and ask you some questions and get to where we are and what you need help with. And you also ask questions all the time. You'll call me or you'll text me and say, is it okay if I add this or do that? And I'll say, yeah.
Well, you sent me this scale that tells me
Oh, yes.
it has all these sensors on it that'll tell me my BMI, the metabolic age. And when I stepped on it the first time, it said, "Hey, one at a time, one at a time." And I thought, I didn't think that was very nice, but it's no, I take it very seriously. You're not supposed to weigh yourself every day, and that's what they tell you. That's what you
What they
told me.
say. Yeah.
I do. And because I think it gives me a little bit more of a structure, because I don't want this thing to go off. I want to keep myself on a real tight
You
leash.
know what? I think we used to be that way, but now with this new, the smart scales that you can get, they're all over the internet. You can find them. But the point is you can see your visceral fat, and somebody might say, well, what is that? Well, that's the most important. That's a big one, because it's the fat around your organs, and that's going to affect disease around your organs. I mean, that fat needs to go. It
Yeah.
really does. And like my husband, he never was overweight, right? And just in the
No,
later part
Freddie could lay under a clothesline and not get a suntan. I
of
mean,
but you didn't see that he did start gaining weight just around his belly, just around his belly. And he was eating healthily, but he was eating more, like he was eating very good, balanced, what his heart doctor said, was a good diet, Mediterranean diet, a lot of roasted vegetables, good proteins. And I thought, why is he having this around his belly? And we started watching and really getting, and this scale really helped. And it really helped us see what is the average, what should it be, and getting this visceral fat
so
off.
why was he? Did Freddie have a stash of Snickers in the car? What was
No,
it?
you won't believe it. See, this is where people need to be educated, because sure, nuts are great for you, but guess what? Cashews and those things are fattening, and 6 cashews is a healthy fat. But I don't know about you, but I used to take a whole bag of cashews and just say, well, this is what I'm going to have for lunch. I'll have an apple and I don't know, the whole bag of cashews. And it's just too much. And so,
What about pecans?
yeah, they're higher. The nuts, you have to watch them. Now, the almonds you can have more of. 10 to 12 almonds is a healthier fat. But like, it's okay if you have them. You just need to know which ones and how much. And that's in the list that I send you, that has all your fats, good healthy fats and vegetables and what's a good serving size and all that. But Freddie was having good stuff, but too much fat. So I'll tell you what we use is an app called Avatar Well, I shouldn't say what it is, but there is an app that can track your macros, and it tells you not just your calories, but it will tell you if you put in what you're eating, it will tell you the breakdown, like how many carbs you're getting, how many
No, I
fats.
put in what I was eating, and like red lights started going sirens, and there were, black
Warning, warning, Will Robinson.
black Suburban started driving up the road. It was bad. It was, you know,
Well,
eh,
anyway, it was a good way for us to see he was getting way too many. It wasn't a good balance of the carbs and fats. So we got that under control, and now he is at his perfect weight, and he's also working out. And we have a whole thing that we do with our family. I think it's good to have, if you can, have the support of friends or family, or just have a coach that you're talking to and doing this and being accountable, because community and it's everything. If you're a lone ranger, you might just drift off, because who cares, right? Nobody's going to hold you accountable. um, it's okay if I just slip today or
well,
tomorrow.
and that's why I do. I weigh myself frequently, and I
Mm,
watch it, and I'm
yeah.
also watch what I prepare for Gracie. I don't. I'm not a Nazi about it, but I am aggressive
Hmm.
because I understand the stakes.
Yeah.
And I don't have a gym that I go to because it's hard for me to do that. But I have a lot of stuff I do out here,
Hmm.
and
Well, it's just
my
getting
area.
out,
I
walking,
was out.
or get up. If you even just if you're behind a desk, get up every hour and
Well, even now I'm standing at a desk. I don't sit.
oh, good for you.
Sometimes I do, but I have a standing desk.
It burns a
And,
lot more calories. Yeah.
well, and then I get out and I got to go split some more firewood and things like that. And
Yeah, what
there's
you
a
do
lot of
during
things to do in
the day.
Montana, and then taking care of
Yeah,
Gracie. Well, my studio's at the other end, one end of the house, and she's at the far end,
right.
and so I'm back and forth all the time, just a lot of steps.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
my app on my phone that I have for steps is constantly fussing at me, but I don't always carry my phone when I'm walking back and forth. I
Ah,
mean, I'm
okay.
always usually have a Bluetooth earpiece or something, and so it doesn't pick up all the steps that I'm doing, but I stay pretty active.
You might wanna put your phone in your pocket or put
I don't.
something on you that tracks it, because
I know. You
if
think? You
you
think?
because we're gonna add more of those aminos, if you're doing
Well,
all
I
that.
am do, and I am, and I want to stay active. I mean, I'm always doing,
Yeah,
laundry and cooking, cleaning, and
yeah.
even the other day I did a carpentry project. I mean, but I had to get out and split some wood because I've got some firewood, but I'm going to have to get some more. And Gracie likes to see me swinging an axe outside,
Ooh,
and she calls me Paul Bunyan and Peter Bunyan, Peter, Paul, and Mary Bunyan. You know the family.
yeah,
But it's no, I want to stay active because again, I go back to my premise. I'm no good to her if I'm fat, broken, miserable.
yeah, yeah.
And if I'm overweight, why?
Yeah,
And you don't accidentally get healthy. It's an
no,
intentional decision. And
absolutely.
and there's an intentionality to what I'm doing. You've been very much a part of this, and you've inspired me to do it, and you push me. You don't flog me or in any way slap me around a little bit. Now she will tell me. I mean, Dale. There's times when I call Dale and I'm having to do the call of shame, and having to say, look, you know, I ate the entire cheesecake, kind of thing. And
I saw I saw that pecan pie you made.
I did make that, and it was very good. Gracie said it was the best one she's ever
Do you
had.
say pecan or pecan?
I say pecan because I'm from South Carolina.
I am from South Carolina too, but we said pecan.
That's
And
because
I
you're
know
from
you
mid-state.
laughed.
I'm
I
from
know you laughed. So I changed it to pecan because it
that's
was
that's
embarrassing.
that's okay.
Yeah.
We didn't want to say anything, but right now you are on a lot of prayer lists to help with your vocabulary, and we're going to do the best we can. But no, I want to bring you on a regular basis, and I talk about health a lot because so many of us as caregivers put our health secondary. It's
Yeah.
more important for me to take care of Gracie than it is for me to take care of myself. That's the mentality I had. Does
Yeah.
it matter what happens to me? Well, yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because what happens to her if I go down? If I have any type of sickness or issue, and so I have a vested interest to stay healthy and strong, but it takes work, it takes intentionality, it takes a team, it takes partners, it takes accountability groups, it takes not accountability to say I have sinned, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's to say,
Well, and
hey, I'm struggling here.
hey, listen, and another thing is one thing when you do eat the whole cheesecake, and I'm just playing with you on that. Who knows? Maybe you do. But but if you do have a day, a lot of times people will say, well, it's Wednesday and I've already screwed up. I'm just going to wait till Monday and just, start over next week. Or if you're on a weekend and you're like, well, I messed up, so I might as well just throw in the towel for the weekend. But no, you're only 2.5 hours away from your next meal because we have you eat every 2.5 to 3 hours because it's healthy. And doctors will tell you that that is the best way to keep your sugar levels down. Um, and so we are all, well, the desire to stress eat it isn't a moral failure. It's just a human, you know,
You've been very helpful to me. Why are we stressed?
mm,
That's that's the first thing we ask is,
yeah,
what's on you
yes,
that's leading to this? And as caregivers, we don't have to really look too far. We know we're stressed because of the relentless nature of our journey. Okay, so let's have somebody who understands that. Talks to Dale has known me and Gracie. She and Freddie, Gracie and I go back, gosh, almost 40 years.
wow.
And yeah, I don't want to say anything, Dale, but you and Freddie are old.
No, well, I was only 12 when I met you.
But
Yeah,
it's we go back a long ways, and they've known this journey of ours. They've seen it. They've
yeah,
watched it unfold. And so it helps to have somebody who understands the enormity of what we carry as caregivers. And you've got a lot of caregivers that you work with.
oh, yeah,
Thinking about
and
Carol, for example, and who listens to this program. And
yeah,
there are a lot of people that are dealing with this. And it helps to have somebody who is not oblivious to this and to the sheer magnitude of what we carry and
yeah.
can help baby step us into healthiness. And
Well, let
that's
me tell you about Carol. She told me she could do this because it was so easy. But she said when it comes to that one meal a day that I make for myself, she said I don't have time. I've got a 24/7 job taking care of my daughter who is totally, needs her help with everything. And so she said, I really don't have time to go in the kitchen and do all this cooking. So I said, well, we have products that are on the shelf and you pull them off the shelf and you poke holes in the top like a little TV dinner kind of thing. And Peter, you know what I'm talking
I
about
do. I love them, and I
because they're great. And I mean, even like what was it that you
by the way,
decided?
I do add hot sauce to it.
Well, yeah, and if you have the beef stew or um, the turkey, what's the name of the turkey one? All of a sudden, I forgot.
I don't
But
know, but
anyway, if you put like a cottage cheese, a little bit of extra protein on top, you are tasting. It tastes like lasagna,
oh yeah, that's that.
turkey meatball
Penny,
marinara.
the,
There it is.
well, yeah, and so there are
But
little
I'm
things that we can do, and I think though the thing is for me, I mean, I have you. I go back to what you told me at the beginning.
oh yeah,
Your future self will thank you.
yeah,
And I put on a shirt the other day that I noticed that I had the same shirt when I was in Denver, and
Mhm.
it was a little bit tight because I was a little bit paunchy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I noticed it's not. It fits loosely and comfortably on me,
Oh, I'm so glad.
and
You know, when you had your jeans, I love the story of your jeans. Um, Peter would he couldn't I'm not laughing at you, I'm
yeah,
just
yes,
saying
you are, Dale, and that's
no,
okay.
I just think it's cute the way you
I've
say
had bigger
things.
people than you laugh at me
Well,
now.
no, you were saying that your horse thanks you, and I get a kick out of that because your horse is like, "Thank God he lost the weight." So,
He
I don't
kind of breathed a sigh of
yeah,
relief.
yeah,
But
but
no, I don't have to dry I
it
mean, I don't have to hang the jeans up to dry. I can put them in the dryer.
exactly, and so you posted a picture of you with your blue jeans in the dryer, and you said, "Now I can do this," and they still fit, and I don't have to go buy a new pair of jeans, and I just thought, these are and it's not just that his jeans fit, his he's getting healthy from the inside out, and it's helping his mood and his energy, and our product well, what we do for you, and then we teach you how to eat
I think that's
without
the thing that you've done the best for me
yeah,
is now I examine things.
yeah,
And, I'm taking, I used to like all kinds of, flavored yogurt, and I
yeah,
realize now I can take plain organic yogurt and
that's
mix it
right,
with quite a few things, and it's fine. I mean, I'm very happy with it, and I feel like I'm making a better decision.
yeah,
I think that's the whole thing is this good, best, or better? Those are the kind of things
yeah,
I evaluate every time I buy something. What do I buy? What
yeah,
kind of food do I purchase? And,
mhm,
um,
yeah,
what am I putting into my body? What am I spending money on? And you
mhm,
look at the things that we have just been consuming over our lifetime and thinking, oh,
yeah,
this is okay. There's certain things I just can't bring into the house, like
yeah,
Captain Crunch. I
yeah,
can't. I can't do it. Grayson brought me some the other night, just as a treat for Thanksgiving.
yeah.
I got to tell him, don't you ever do that again? Because I'm sitting there, late at night in a closet somewhere, just sucking down Captain Crunch, kind of
Oh
thing.
gosh. Listen,
Okay,
we stopped the other day to get my granddaughter a smoothie at Smoothie King or whatever, one of those drive up things. And I was so, so tempted to get one. And I started looking at their menu and I looked at the carbs and all the sugars and I just went, if I had this, I couldn't eat another thing for the whole day. I mean, and I would still probably be going over on my sugar level stuff. And then I thought to myself, no, I can go home. I can get out, like you said, the yogurt, and I can put my whey protein chocolate in it and mix that together. And oh my gosh, it's just as good, and it's so much better for me. And when you go to bed that night, you're like, you know what? That's a check for me today. I am proud of myself. I think you have to celebrate when you make good choices, you
you
know?
do, and I want to encourage you if you do this, if you say, you know what, Peter, it's time. I got to do this.
Mhm.
Then you call up people and you do celebrate. And there is no victory too
Mhm.
small to celebrate.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and I think one of the things that this surprised me that the way I ate, I'm surprised I wasn't bigger. And I
Mm.
got big. I mean, when you leave footprints in dry concrete, you're big. And I got big, but I'm surprised I wasn't really morbidly obese the
Mm.
way I ate. And I realized that the kinetic energy I had as a caregiver is what kept
Uh-huh.
a lot of that at bay.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yeah,
hasn't stopped for me.
yeah.
And so that stuff came off of me pretty quickly.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
I just started making some small changes,
Mhm.
decent changes, regular changes, consistent changes in the way I ate.
Yeah,
And I realized, oh, I have enough activity going on right now to keep myself from descending into madness. But what
yeah.
happens if I start making some dietary changes with that same activity level and I watch pounds just melt off of me?
Yeah. It's
And
intentionality.
it is.
It
And
really is. And
so I would say to my fellow caregivers, you're probably already running. If you're anything like me, you're probably running pretty wide open.
Mhm.
So make some dietary changes and see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
here is it. For example, I drink black coffee, only black coffee.
Yeah. You
And,
changed that. Yeah.
well, no, I've been drinking that for a while, but you realize, and I used to drink a lot of sweet tea because I
Sweet.
am from the
Yeah.
South.
Yep.
I don't drink sweet tea. I don't drink sodas.
Mhm.
I stopped sodas. I can't if I drink a Coke
Oh.
right now,
Oh,
it
make
tastes
me
so
sick.
sweet.
Oh, it
It
made
is
me
it's
sick.
uncomfortable. And even
Yeah.
sweet tea, I can't do it anymore. I remember we were in Denver, they had a Chick-fil-A, which called me. They called me every day at
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Gracie
They've
loves
got some good
Chick-fil-A.
stuff, by the way, the grilled
But if
chicken and the
but if
kale.
you have their sweet tea,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
almost undrinkable if you've been away
no.
from it for a while.
Right. That's so much sugar.
I
Yeah.
had to dilute it, and, even for Gracie, and now she's given up sweet tea.
Oh, good for her.
I was really proud of her for that because
Yeah.
that was she planted a flag on that hill. I mean,
Yeah.
Gracie is a true Southern girl. But
Uh-huh.
she said, "Okay," and so she drinks unsweetened tea,
Yeah.
and it's just little things like that. But once
Yeah.
you do it and you get those are wasted calories.
Yeah.
Cream and
Yeah.
sugar in your coffee, that's just wasted calories.
I know. And so you have to think, what am I willing to get healthy? What am I willing to give up? And with our products, I mean, you've got monk fruit. Come on, you can go to the store right now and buy monk fruit sugar. And
Thelonious?
and
Yep.
also stevia. Those are very healthy, good sugar choices they're sugar. I mean, they're made from actual plants, but they're not like refined sugar. And the refined sugar is what it is that really destroys it. It makes your liver have to go, okay, time out. We can't burn any of this fat right now because we got to deal with all this sugar that they're giving me. And it really does. It stops your body from being able, your immune system goes down when you have sugar. So if you want to get well, stay away from sugar,
Well,
except
and it
for honey. I mean, honey, maple syrup, but not too much. Everything.
we only use raw sugar when we use it here, and I've watched. We used to have it coming in all the time. We would get it. We get a lot of things through Amazon out here because it's
Oh
just
yeah.
easier than going 60 miles somewhere.
Uh-huh.
But we don't deliver that. And now sugar's going a lot longer here at our house because we're not using it, and that's really good. But if you're, for example, just on your coffee, if you have sugar in your coffee,
Mhm.
see what happens if you back it off by a third.
Mm.
Just that, and then a half, and then eventually you'll find you won't want it anymore.
Wean yourself, yeah.
You really do, and I'm telling you, I cannot drink a soda anymore. It just I
Yeah,
feel icky for doing it, and I
yeah,
used to drink it all the time. And it diet sodas or others, I just don't care for it. And I do like soda water. That gives me
oh,
that's my
yeah,
cheat.
me
That's
too. I do, yeah,
my
I do those sparkling. If I go to a restaurant, I'll order, sparkling water, soda, water what do you call that? Club soda
yeah,
and with a
all of those are I do I
twist of
I
lemon,
do that, but that one little thing made a huge difference on just the
yeah,
because I was constantly drinking a soda
yeah,
and or
yeah.
sweet tea, and I'm
So how
drink
much water are you drinking now?
I drink
I'm gonna
I
do
drink
a check-in with you.
I drink I haven't been measuring it, but it's every bit of 64 ounces.
Okay, 64 is the minimum, and I'm gonna push you to
Well,
80 or 100.
I'm probably doing more than that. I just don't measure it. I just got into the habit of drinking a lot of water.
That's good. And drink water. These are some tips I can tell you to keep you healthy. Drink water before the morning coffee. Drink some
Yes.
water and get that going first. And then when you eat a meal, take 3 deep breaths before each meal because we rush through. We just don't chew. We got to slow down and really allow our body to digest it. So it starts with deep breathing and relaxing yourself, and then walk or stretch for 5 minutes after you eat dinner. We're so quick to eat the dinner and then go lay on the couch.
Well, I
But it's
think we are full before our brains register that we're full.
Oh, that is so true. It takes a while. So, you know what? My mother-in-law, she was so cute. She was barely, 100 pounds of fat, maybe. stayed between 85 and 100. She was not even 5 feet tall. But she ate what real healthy, but she also had her sweet tooth every meal, and she had her coffee after her dinner. But she would eat on a salad plate instead of a big old giant plate and fill up your plate. So portion control really is a thing. If you're going to go extra on something, go over on the protein, because that really, and especially the fish are so good with the oils, the omegas. Anyway, I'm getting into my
No, that's
coaching
exactly what
hat,
we need
but
to hear. And I go back to your drinking water. Drink to think, drink to
mm,
think, because water, our brains need to think
oh
better, and
yeah,
we do that when we're hydrated. And I noticed that if I drink a big old tumbler full of water before breakfast, that
hmm,
I'm not really that hungry,
yeah,
but I have to. This is not something I can ever let my guard down.
oh yeah.
It's a vigilance, and
Well, it becomes a habit, doesn't it, Peter? That's the
it,
thing we're
it has become a habit, but it's a habit that I have to work at
trying.
still. I mean,
Yeah,
I can play the piano without looking at the keys, but I still have
exactly.
to practice.
Yeah,
And I can play pretty much anything I want to play, but I still have to practice.
yeah,
And so it is a habit, but it's intentionality. But I think the thing, and we'll close up here with this, but I know we're out of time here, but I think the thing that has made the difference for me is knowing why I'm doing this.
yeah,
What is the purpose for this? This is not a vanity thing. This is not so that I can fit into some outfit for an event or something like that. This is a total reworking of the way I approach life to make sure that I am strong and healthy, because I have someone who is not, who depends upon me.
exactly.
And if I don't do this right, there are real consequences for Gracie.
Abs- absolutely.
And it's hard for me to say how committed I am to being a good caregiver if I'm not taking care of the one person that's keeping her from even worse disaster.
Yeah. And
And so,
can I say something real quick?
no, you can't.
I
I've known you for almost 40 years. You cannot say anything real quick. I've noticed this. Let me,
Okay, well, but if I could just say this just real quick, I think, and this is going to be a owie. It was an owie to me, but we're in ministry, and my husband's pastor, and um, you know, we talk about, we proclaim the good news that Jesus delivers us from our sins, and we're okay with calling certain things sins. But there's that scripture that we cannot ignore that says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And we are to present our bodies as living sacrifices to God. And if we don't take good care of what He gave us, um, and use our, the gifts and talents that we've been given, obviously, those are things that we present to Him as well. But our bodies, our whole selves, our mind, our our spirit, our all of it, and that means the physical too. And I'm not saying you don't go to heaven if you don't get healthy. You just might get there a little earlier if you don't take good care of yourself, because then disease and things can happen. But but I just think we need to look at what are we doing with that. Are we honoring God and asking Him how to take care of ourselves? And are we getting help if we need help? Because, y'all, there's a lot of people out there that are like, give me a plan, help me. And if you want help, you can contact me at richerhealthforyou.com. And I would be so glad and so honored to walk beside you and help you come up with a plan that is best for you.
absolutely. It's all about stewardship,
Hmm.
and the last thing I want to do is compromise all the work that I've done for Gracie at this point by me having some type of cardiac event that could have been prevented,
Yeah.
that could be, or a diabetic event that could have been prevented simply because of lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
And right. And both of us are in ministry, and we have a responsibility to model this. There's nothing more uncomfortable for me than to see obese pastors,
Mm. Mm.
because I'm thinking, what's going on with you?
Mm. But
obese posters.
it's been so accepted though, is what I'm saying, and so much of America, we think it's and I had to get real bold and say to you, "Peter, I love you."
You're fat.
No, I didn't. I just said I couldn't tell which brother was which because I was looking at the picture and from last time I saw you, you didn't, you know what I mean? So,
Well, that was the heaviest I've gotten, and it was actually wasn't the heaviest. The heaviest I got was in 2011, and I was actually even 10 pounds heavier than when you saw me. But I started doing martial arts after that, and
yeah,
I dropped a lot of weight because I was
yeah,
very very active.
yeah,
I didn't change my diet, but I was very very active. But then when I moved out to Montana, I didn't have martial arts anymore. I
right.
didn't do that, and so that all of a sudden it started creeping back to the point where I realized. And then the stress level. What do you do when you're under stress? And
Oh,
I live with stress all the time,
yeah,
and so I had to make some hard decisions.
yeah,
And I thought, this is ridiculous. There's no good reason why I'm doing this. It's simply because it's immediate comfort that
yeah,
I can somehow divert or push back against and end up being healthier. And I'll never forget, the first time I put on a pair of jeans that I hadn't worn in years.
mhm,
I thought, man, that just feels great. And just to be able to throw on something, to be able to wear a suit coat or a sport coat that I haven't worn in a while. I don't want to go back to that. And I struggled with that a little bit in Denver, but I was in the hospital for 5 months, and
oh,
it
yeah,
was really hard to do that. But I left it. And as soon as I got home, I started seeing improvement, and
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
'cause
here I am going into the holiday season, and I'm committed to this.
yes,
And that's the way I
proud of
think
you.
that we have to be. And so
Well,
Dale's going to,
I do this so I can be accountable.
yeah.
I coach so I can be
But you
accountable.
told me what your brother said about you.
Oh, don't you even.
and
Well, no, Hank, he knows that I've gotten healthy, and he told me the other day, he said, "I got this video," because he used to take all the family videos, every event, and it was during Thanksgiving, and I had gotten as big as I have ever been, and he said, "Wow, I saw you on the video," and I said, "Oh," 'cause I was like, "Oh, did I look good? Hey, what was it?" Because his face didn't really tell me, and,
he's
and he said, "You were a lot bigger than you are now," and for a second it stung, it was like, ugh, that
you were
hurts,
you
but
were
you know
big.
what? No, it was because um, I finally
It's a dramatic difference, though.
listen, I looked at that picture. I remember hiding behind the other family members in the picture because I was so wide and big. And I remember going up and down the stairs and going, why do my ankles and my joints hurt? Because for every 1 pound of pressure is 4 pounds. I mean, 1 pound of fat is 4 pounds of pressure. And I was thinking, good grief, because I was 35 pounds overweight, which may not sound like a lot to you, but when you're 5'3", let me tell you, that's a lot.
You put on a pair of high heels and dig for oil. I mean, I tell you what, you
I'm glad that we can laugh at it, but it really is a pain point for so many, and I just want to give hope. I want you to know that there's a way forward and that I feel better now than when I turned 60 because I feel like I'm back in my 40s again, and I can keep up with my grandchildren and the energy and it's exciting that there's hope
well,
for the caregiver.
the yes, thank you for that. The demands on me as a caregiver have
Yeah,
not abated. They've only increased.
right.
But I'm getting older, and I need to do everything that is in my power to do to meet those demands and not collapse under the strain.
Yeah.
And so I'm serious about it. I I'm not a Nazi about it. I don't beat myself up, but I do say, okay, I can't do this. I'm going to have to say no to this because I'm saying yes to something else.
Yeah.
And that's what
That's
I'm doing. And so I wanted to have Dale on just to be able to have that conversation with you guys. We're going to have her back regularly, and as we talk about different times and different seasons. But bottom line is, as we go into the Christmas season, it is not written in stone that you have to put on weight during this time of year.
that's right.
You do not have to do this. You do not have to condemn yourself to this. You can make a change right now. Dale will help you. She's helped me. Richer Health for You. richerhealthforyou.com. It's Dale Richardson. richerhealthforyou.com. And she'll be glad to help. You know what? She'll pray with you.
Yeah.
And she understands caregivers. She understands the journey. She hasn't walked through it like I have, and probably like most of you all have, but she's walked through enough with Gracie and me and with others. And her
Yeah.
husband, Freddie, is a wonderful minister. And by the way, they are great singers. Great
Oh,
singers. So she'll even sing to you.
well,
Which,
I will if I do. When it's your birthday, you
but,
betcha.
but
Oh,
you have to put a little money in the jar.
oh,
Which, no, I'm just kidding. That's a Hank. Hank does that.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
But we have a good time. These are dear friends, and I would not talk to anybody like this, unless I knew exactly who I'm putting your hand in the hand of. And so, if you're struggling with it, if you're saying, you know what, Peter, I've reached the limit of what I just don't want to do this anymore. I really have got to change something in my life, but I feel so overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
I get it. You're going to work real hard to find somebody that deals with the kind of things that I've dealt with, or that our friend Carol has dealt with, that are, that level of overwhelmed. And yet here's the success story, and the proof is in the pudding. Well, we can't have pudding very much, but
Oh,
the
no,
proof,
we can. I have that. I have that as one of our. It's delicious.
the proof is in the pudding. Sorry.
Much pudding. Yeah.
Listen, we're out of time. Dale, thank you so much for being a part of this today. I
Uh-huh.
really do appreciate it. We're going to have you back some more. We're just as a regular check-in, because healthy caregivers do indeed make better caregivers. And you know what? I don't have to wait till next week to do something healthy. I can do it right now, today, right now. And
Yeah.
you can too. And you can reach out and say, you know what? It's time. It's time. All right.
Well, thank you for having me, Peter, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. That's it.
That's it. Well, thank you very much. I told you she can sing. I would have her with the caregiver keyboard, and we tried that, but there's a delay,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out though. So we'll figure something else out. But we got to run. Thank you so much, Dale. Thanks for the time. This is Peter Rosenberger. This is Hope for the Caregiver. HopeForTheCaregiver.com. We'll see you next time.